Hello and welcome to Reviews. As always, I'm Plume Noir. Here we are at episode 3 of She-Hulk Attorney at Law. We are 1/3 of the way through the 9-episode series, and I feel that, overall, I've been fair with the first 2 episodes. Others have been much harder on the message and the CGI. Now, I've alluded to the former, and as for the latter, well, it's really not bothering me so much. I mean, to be honest, all the MCU movies have had moments of janky CGI, and this show doesn't have the budget that they do. Yes, I'll get to that. Now, I can overlook the CGI if the story is good. And as far as the fourth wall breaking, well, that's this medium's version of John Byrne's series, so I'm overall okay with that. So is episode 3 good? Well, I mentioned that the first 2 episodes felt like a 2-part pilot, and I stand by that. This does feel like the show should be hitting its stride now that the groundwork is laid. Jen has her gig at GLK&H, and she's representing Emil Blonsky for his parole hearing and needs to overcome his jailbreak from the Shang-Chi movie. I like these parts of the episode. The rest of the episode, however, it falls flat. Yes, give me a minute, I'll talk about that. Let me share some of my thoughts. I mentioned last week that Jen doesn't really have much of a personality, but it's not just her. You see, I noticed it when Malorie book was introduced in this episode. Anyone that has read previous series knows that Malorie, she's hard as nails, and Jen had to work quite hard to earn her semi-respect. Malorie is in this episode for a couple of seconds, and that's it. She is a great foil for Jen, so why wasn't she in the last episode? I mean, we've had Nicki, Jen's best friend and paralegal. She's been in every episode. And her personality is Jen's personal cheerleader, telling her how great she is. Now Pug, he gets a little bit more time to shine, but again, what is his personality?
But I agree, Mr. Pugliese.
And yes, Your Honor, I can understand why they had to overdub you pronouncing his name. I can't get Tatiana's name right half the time myself. And Holloway, he's the boss. The character that we really have a handle on is Derek. The cartoony chauvinist pig from Jen's old job at the DA office. About Derek, he makes up the B-plot of the episode. He comes to GLK&H because he wants to sue a shape-shifting elf for impersonating Megan Thee Stallion, and he ended up dating her. Now, we have been hearing that she would be in this episode, probably playing herself. And Derek is, of course, the butt monkey of all the jokes because, well, why would he think he has a chance with her? And why would he give her nearly $2,000 in gifts and cars and stuff? He gets teased for falling for a shapeshifter scheme because of his vanity, and we're supposed to laugh at him. But here's the really funny part that I don't think the writers intended. He ends up winning the case. Well, the writers intended that, but you see, he was duped and his ego allowed him to fall for the shape-shifting elf's scheme, but he still won the case. A couple more minutes. Sheesh. Anyway, I don't get why the writers didn't twist it somehow so that he loses his case, like by enforcing the elf's supposed diplomatic immunity. See, this is why I said that Derek seems to be the most well-rounded character in the cast. He didn't get any comeuppance for his past behavior and he's rewarded because of the way he acts and how he thinks of himself. We have a handle on who he is. But I don't think the writers intended any subtle commentary like, the jerks always get away with their actions, since he was clearly the victim in this case. He was duped by the elf. But one thing that I originally thought was clever was the Megan Thee Stallion bit. Well, at first. No, not that scene. You see, I thought the writers were going to pull a Star Trek The Wrath of Khan on it. You know, before that movie came out, news leaked that Spock was going to die. So right at the beginning of the movie, it looks like he does. But it's a Kobayashi Maru exam, and he was faking his death. So that when he really dies at the end of the movie, you're not expecting it. So I was expecting the elf to shapeshift into Megan Thee Stallion, thus proving the rumors that she plays herself. I thought that was a clever way to get her cameo and have it make sense. But no, the writers snatched defeat from the jaws of victory by having Megan Thee Stallion actually appear as herself in the audience of the courtroom. Why? Who knows? She just shows up. That's what this show does. And like I said, the email hearing, that's enjoyable, his parole hearing. What else in this episode? Yeah. The excitement of seeing the wrecking crew show up is dashed by them going down like dumb bitches. Let's see. What else happened in the episode? Okay, fine. We need to talk about the mid-credits scene. Because everyone else is. Yes, Jen is hanging out in her office with Megan Thee Stallion, and then she twerks. Yeah. Stay classy, She-Hulk attorney at law. You see, everyone is talking about it because it's really fucking dumb. I watched this episode on my lunch break at work, and I can honestly say that this scene really pissed me off. Now, this is a part where I will comment that the CGI looks bad. Seriously, part of it is a close-up on Jen's ass. You don't even need to CGI that. Just have another woman in the same outfit. But then there's Jen's comment.
I will kill for you, Megan Thee Stallion.
That is freaking unbelievable. I mean, this episode is just, stroking Megan Thee Stallion's ego. You can't see the hand motion I'm making, but I think you get the idea. I actually hated the line that Jen says more than the twerking. The whole thing screamed, "Hello, fellow young women. This is what you do, right? We saw it on www.tiktok.com. I guess they were really trying to copy Ally McBeal with a woman dancing with a CGI character. But then I thought about it some more, and my mind flashed back to the scene with the social media comments. You see, they put those in as a deflection. Anyone who hates the show is afraid of girl power or something. You see, it's never about the quality of the show or movie. It's a ready-made excuse for why something fails, because I guess people can't handle women in lead roles or something. I don't know. See, the comments mention things like affirmative action and Me Too and other backlash, which is funny because, once again, breaking the show don't tell rule. Just about everyone loves Jen. We see crowds are racing up to see her, and social media is ablaze over her. So here's my theory. The twerking? It's a distraction. You see, the creators don't have enough confidence in their product, and as we can see by things like the poor characterization I've mentioned, they know they're getting raked over the coals for the themes they're putting into the show and its overall quality. So, let's put the twerking scene in as a distraction because that is what everyone is going to talk about. And it seems to be working. How would I rate this episode? Well, on my clock scale, from 12 being best, 6 being worst, you can tell by the little thumb there, I'd give it a 3 o'clock. Yes, it is slowly getting worse. While we are seeing some improvements, such as the full-on Ally McBeal 2-plot format, other things are really holding back the quality. The cast should be really established by now. Look at just about any other sitcom, and they have the full ensemble cast, and you know each of their personalities by the end of the first episode. Now, if I had not read the original comics, I would have no emotional investments in any of the regular cast. The only ones that get anything approaching depth are the ones that are created for the series, like Nicki and Derek. Now, I can go on, and I might just make another video to discuss some other points I've noticed, but I think I'll leave it at that. So I'll see you next time, and as always, thanks for watching.
Is there any truth to the rumors you got your powers from a mafia hit gone wrong?